And a very pleasant good evening from inside the Bloomington Ice Center. It is time for Illinois State Redbird hockey as the Redbirds of Illinois State take on the Panthers of Drury University from Springfield, Missouri. And a very pleasant good evening from inside the Bloomington Ice Center on the sheet of ice known as the Joel Olson Ice Rink. I'm L.A. Decker with you tonight for this ACHA Division I independent matchup between the Redbirds and the Panthers. The Redbirds are in a bit of a downturn right now. They are 0-4-0 in their last four matchups, being outscored 26-4 in those contests, including 11-2 and 9-1 losses to the Bobcats of Ohio University at Bird Arena last weekend. For the Drury Panthers, they are 4-0-0. Matter of fact, they are 12-0-0 on the season and have only had one game go to overtime, and that was their next to most recent game, a 1-0 win over Midland in overtime. Otherwise, they would have a perfect record on the season. They have 35 points. They have won 12, only one of those wins coming in overtime. Otherwise, they'd have 36 points. Hockey is interesting. I love the scoring things. Taking a look at some of the scorers for Drury coming into the contest, their leading scorer, K.T. Walters, has 9 goals in the season. Daniel Beaupre, 7 goals on the year, is second in scoring for the Panthers of Drury University. For Illinois State, it's a triumvirate of 6-goal scorers. Sam Truxaw from the defense, along with Robin Cusick and Gio Barghini, each have 6 lamplighters on the season for your Illinois State Redbirds. Taking a look at our goaltender matchup tonight for the Redbirds of Illinois State, it'll be Cole Walter, 5'11", 175 out of Pine Island, Minnesota. His record 4-4-0. This is his 9th appearance of the season, a 4.46 goals against average, 8.85 save percentage. He'll be opposed in net by Josef Kushalso, a 6'1", 190-pound goaltender out of Mission, British Columbia. He is perfect, 9-0-0 on the season, his 10th appearance, a sparkling 1.44 goals against, and an impressive 9.43 save percentage. The Redbirds will have their work cut out for them tonight in this contest. First of 2 this weekend here from the Bloomington Ice Center for these two teams. They will meet up again tomorrow evening at 6:10. We will have that one on live stream. However, unfortunately, I will not be with you that day as, well, family matters do take precedent. My son is getting married tomorrow, so you'll have to excuse me if I do step aside from the microphone for that contest. So they're getting ready for the starting lineups in the opening face-off. We can tell you that the Redbirds of Illinois State are looking to snap a bit of a downskid. The Drury Panthers are trying to keep themselves perfect on the season. We will find out which of the case will be in 60 minutes of hockey. Coming up, the starting lineups in the opening face-off from the Bloomington Ice Center. This is Illinois State Redbird hockey. Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to the Joe Olson Ice Rink inside the Bloomington Ice Arena and tonight's ACHA Division I matchup between the Panthers of Drury University and your Illinois State Redbirds. Let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's contest. First, for the visitors from Springfield, Missouri, please welcome the Drury Panthers. On defense, number 22, Lucas Sadownik, and number 44, Grady Sterling Ponich. The forwards, number 18, Luke Aston. Number 19, K.T. Walters. And number 71, Jackson Truchin. Starting in goal for the Panthers is number 30, Josef Kushalso. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Illinois State Redbirds. On defense, number 25, Brian Buckholtz. And number 44, Parker Turch. The forwards, number 12, Will Tricarico. Number 13, Carson Pishker. And number 81, Caden Day. And starting in goal for your Redbirds is number 33, Cole Walter. At this time, hockey fans, we ask that you please rise if you're able. Gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Your officials for tonight's contest. The linesmen are Michael Bauer and Jesse McCabe. The referees are Greg Gunter and Chris Harjay. And your official scorer is Dan Glatt. All right, so once again, those starting lineups. First for the Panthers are Drury University, 12-0-0 on the season, 35 points. Their only blemish, an overtime game, which they won, by the way, maintaining their perfect record. It'll be Aston, Walters, and Truchin on the front line with Sadownik and Sterling Ponich on the defense. Josef Kashaslo gets the start, 9-0-0 in the year, 144 goals against, and a 943 save percentage. For Illinois State, it's Tricarico and Pishker on the front line with Day, Buckholtz and Turch on the defense, and Cole Walter getting the start. 4-4-0 on the season, a 446 goals against average, 885 save percentage. Redbirds in white uniforms, trimmed in red and black, red numerals on the white sweaters, and Drury in the red, all red combo with gray and white numerals on the red, and we are underway as Illinois State controls the opening faceoff and dumps it into the Drury end of the ice. Along the boards, Tricarico tries to center it. It gets knocked back into the Redbird zone, and icing will be called against Drury just 17 seconds into the contest, and we'll get a faceoff in the Panthers' end of the ice. Kashaslo is a right-handed catching goalie. So the faceoff is to his right this time, and the faceoff won by the Illinois State Redbirds, and a shot in on Kashaslo is stopped, and he will collect the puck and get a faceoff in his own end. Faceoff again to the right of the Panther netminder. This faceoff pushed into the corner and sent out toward the line, and the Panthers control. Moving in with it is Anmol Garcha, and the play is ruled to be offside as Garcha, with 5 goals on the season, tied for third on the team in that stat with Francis Young-Menard, also has 5 as the faceoff in the neutral zone won by Illinois State. Cusick tried to lift it and hoist it over everyone's head, but unable to control it. Now the Panthers in over the line. Here's a shot. Walter makes the save as the shot was taken by Young Menard. A rebound out in front, knocked away for a moment as it's tracked, and now a shot goes wide of the target. That taken by Matthew Johnston. Now a fight for it in the right corner. Redbirds look to move out, and they do dump it into the Panther end of the ice, and it'll be icing against Illinois State. So the face-off will come back into their end of the ice. No changes allowed for the Redbirds. Drury is free to change if they wish. Just a minute 13 gone by here in the opening period. Drury averaging just over 5 goals a game in their last 4 games. Looking to get on the board early if they can. Illinois State looking to kind of break a little dry spell they've had scoring. As the puck goes into the right corner. Comes back out to the point. Redbirds get to it as Luka Weinkauf will dump it in from center. He did get across the red line, so no icing is called, and the Panthers able to send it forward. Redbirds tip it, so no icing as it goes back behind Cole Walter. Now a centering pass out front, right in front. That one whistled wide as the shot taken by Tyson Horachka. And the Redbirds clear it down the length of the ice, so an icing call coming up. I will admit some challenging names this weekend. None as challenging as McKendree, but I'm used to seeing the McKendree players. As I get used to the Drury names, perhaps I will get better with them as well. Face off to the left of Cole Walter. Taken at the line by the Panthers. A shot in. That one didn't get through as it got blocked by his own man as Lucas Sadownik took a shot from the point. Comes around to the left corner. Now out to the left boards. Jamison St. Clair digs it out. Sends it back around to the other side. Now on the right side of the boards. It's picked up by Pavel Bakhtin for Illinois State. Quickly ahead. Aiden Basenik goes to Ryan Callahan, who dumps it in. Callahan finds Gio Barghini. Barghini back behind the goal line, takes it over to the right corner, gets pinned up. Jacob Switek will come in to try to take it out. It's dug out, though, by the Panthers. It is taken by Jamison St. Clair, held up by Switek. But now ahead for Nolan Boucher. Redbirds get to it as Switek has it. Switek in over the line. Dumped down into the corner. Behind the net, Caden Day. Sends it back out to the point, trying to find Parker Turch. Turch will step in. He'll fire one that gets taken away and sent up ice. Switek able to get onto the puck at the line. Switek tries to turn the corner on the right dot. Lost the handle on it. It's picked up by Luke Aston for the Panthers. Long lead pass ahead on a break. Here comes Truchin. Back to Truchin with a shot. The save is made by Cole Walter as he goes post to post, quicker than a hiccup. Nice job that time as Jackson Truchin had some help, but a 2-on-0 against the goaltender, and Cole Walter stands tall and keeps the game scoreless. Face off to his left, pushed out toward the line. Here's a shot in, they score. Shot from the point came in from Russell Kosick. Not sure if that was tipped, it might have been. Looked like it might be Jackson Truchin. We'll find out when the official word comes over. But it's 1-0 Drury. 71-9. And it was Jackson Truchin.
And 19.
Drury goal, his third of the season, scored by number 71, Jackson Truchin. Assisted by number 9, Russell Kosick, and number 19, KT Walters. Time of the goal, 3:33 first period. Panthers goal scored by Truchin, assisted by Kosick and Walters at 3:33. So the face-off in the Illinois State zone to the right this time of Cole Walters. Puck goes into the corner on the left side. Panthers trying to keep it along the boards. They can't hold it in the zone as the Redbirds able to get it out to center. Jackson Schaefer sends it up by ice. It's tipped by Luka Weinkauf. No icing called. As back to get it is Caden Slobodian. Lead pass ahead. Matthew Johnston slides on the ice on the way into the corner. Now a whistle stopping play. And do we have a tripping call? It looks like we might have a penalty coming up. And it will be on Illinois State. Going to be a trip on Illinois State. Illinois State penalty number 16, Kit Mason Kerr, 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty, 4:26 first period. Redbird penalty, Kerr, 2 minutes for tripping at 4:26. So an accidental horn, apparently. I thought you brought your own equipment. You can't blame it on the equipment now. So the face-off will be in the Panther end. It's one back behind the net, and the Panthers will move out with it. Sterling Ponich leaves it back, sent ahead for Garcha. Garcha takes it into the corner, back out to the point for Sterling Ponich. Centering pass. Sent over to the corner. Here's a shot. Save made by Walter as moving in quickly that time was KT Walters, leading scorer for the Panthers. He's got 9 on the season. He was looking to get into double digits. 92 seconds left in the Panther power play. Here's the face-off. One, Illinois State gets back to it. Tries to slam it up the boards, and they do get it to neutral ice. Redbirds leave it behind, now get into the zone as they will waste some time as they take it back behind the net. Nice job that time by Connor O'Neill. Now over the line for a shot. That one sent wide by Garcha. Back out to the point. Sidonic crisscrosses with Beaupre. Sent back for a shot by Sidonic. That one tipped high off the glass. 50 seconds remaining in the power play. Here's Garcha at the point. Sends it across for a shot. That one taken by Beaupre. That one goes into the blocker of one of the shin guards of one of the defenders. And they will return as they bring it back over the line. Beaupre will cut in from the circle. Left it behind, now loose in the slot. Finally swept away by the Redbird defense. 30 seconds remaining in the Panthers' man advantage. Sidonic to Aston on the left side. Sent in right in front. Puck loose. Still fighting for it. Back out to the point. Sidonic sends it back over. Ravenstein over to Sidonic. Back out to the point. It goes over to the left boards with 5 seconds remaining in the power play. Devin Jameson sends it behind the net as the penalty is over. Both teams back at full strength. Luke Aston leaves it in the corner, now sends her a pass, and it's stolen away by Barghini for Illinois State. Gio Barghini ahead to Jacob Switek. Switek tries to get around the check from Russell Kosick and does take it in for a shot. That one stopped by Kishaslo. And the faceoff will stay in the Panther zone. 13-13 to play here in period number 1. That clock reading might have been more appropriate last weekend on Halloween. Face off to the right of Kishaslo. Won by the Panthers and sent back behind their own net. Parker Turch got a stick on it. Barghini tips it ahead but can't get to it. Picked up by Francis Young-Menard. Sends it back around to the left corner. Now a fight for the puck out of the corner. Buchholz has to pick it up at center, and the Redbirds will reset. Switek had the puck stolen away, and the Panthers come away with it. As Jamison St. Clair sends it into the Redbird end. Now a whistle and a stoppage, and it's going to be a slashing call. Going to be a slash on Illinois State. Illinois State penalty number 22, Jacob Switek, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 7:28, first period. Redbird penalty, Switek, 2 minutes for slashing at 7:28. So the Redbirds again down one skater. They did kill off the last power play, but the Panthers did eventually score later on as Walters has it. Centers it out front. That one got surprised in on Walters. He made the stop, but the rebound stays in play and it comes out to the point as Sterling Ponick sends it across. Over to KT Walters. He dumps it behind the Redbird net. Now the pass comes out to the point that hops over the stick of Anil Garcha, and the Panthers have to track back to get it. 65 seconds remaining in the man advantage for Drury. Luke Aston moves through center with the speed. Aston cuts in, centers it right in and scores. Power play goal for the Panthers, and they now lead 2-0. So the goal unassisted by Aston on the power play gives the Panthers a 2-goal lead, as the Panthers look to start back up once again. Drury goal, his 5th of the season, scored on the power play by number 18, Luke Aston. Unassisted. Time of the goal, 8:38 first period. Panthers goal on the power play scored by Aston, unassisted at 8:38. Levi Brewer sends it back behind the net. Tricarico gets to it. Now a stoppage of play. Is the net off the moorings or is it a penalty? It's the net off the moorings. So the face-off will stay in the Redbird end. 10:31 to play here in period number 1. Redbirds being outshot by the Panthers 10-2 thus far in the game. Tricarico will take the face-off against Walters. One back by Walters for a shot. That one stopped by the defense, as Caden Slobodian got a chance. Now Tricarico sends it ahead, tracks it down. Behind the net he goes, comes out the left side. Back out to the point, Truxon. His shot deflected into the corner on the right, and it's sent back out to the line. Picked up by Ryan Sperine. Over the line comes Aston again. This one shot wide of Cole Walter. Under 10 to play in period number 1. It's 2-0 in favor of Drury over Illinois State. Truxon drops it off for Chikarico in the right corner. Caden Day sweeps it back into the corner. Truxon digs it out. Now Day fights with a couple of Panthers as he pushes it into the left corner behind the net, and Panthers come out with it. Mason Kerr will track back to get it. Icing waved off. Mason Kerr looks to start the Redbirds out of their own end. Pass gets stolen away, taken away by Francis Young-Menard. Puck hoisted down ice. Redbirds got a chance to get to it. Barghini with a backhand save made. Rebound in front. Couldn't get to it. Nice job that time by Kashaslo to make the save as Josef Kashaslo keeps the Redbirds off the board, trying to be opportunistic. Play goes back behind the Panther net. Barghini steals it out front, trying to center it. Trying to go to Dominic Dager. Now here's a steal as Beaupre takes it away. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Beaupre moves in, fires in. That one goes in. Daniel Beaupre let one go from the left circle, and it's now 3-0 in favor of Drury. So for Daniel Beaupre, it's his 8th of the season to match his uniform number. Drury goal, his 8th of the season, scored by number 8, Daniel Beaupre, unassisted. Time of the goal, 11:17 first period. Panthers goal scored by Beaupre, unassisted, at 11:17. So the face-off to the right of Cole Walter as the Redbirds finding themselves trailing by 3 after the opening barrage of the Panthers from Springfield, Missouri. Joe Davidson has it in the left circle, sets it up. Davidson faked the shot, now lost the puck as Connor O'Neill steals it away, pushes it ahead to center. Redbirds get to it as Luka Weinkauf tries to tip it ahead. It's stolen back as Davidson comes over the line. Drops it back for a shot, saved by Cole Walter. Rebound out front. Cole Walter skitteries across and tries to keep the Panthers off the board. Here's the shot taken by Sadonic. That one blocked by the defense, and the Redbirds come away with it. Robin Cusick drops it back for Connor O'Neill. Over the line for Weinkauf. His shot goes off the dasher and comes out where it's played by Kashaslo. Cusick centers it across, but nobody's home. It's stolen back by Jamison. He sends it out to center to take the pressure off for a moment. 7:25 to play here in period number 1. 3-0 in favor. Going to be a holding call against Drury. So the Redbirds will get their first power play opportunity. Drury penalty number 81, Devin Jamison. 2 minutes for holding. Time of the penalty, 12:41 first period. Panthers penalty, Jamison, 2 minutes for holding at 12:41. Here are the Redbirds in front with a shot by Bogdan. That one blocked away by the Panther defense. Redbirds look to control along the left band boards. Sent down into the corner. Fight for it along the corner. It's finally dug out and sent back around. Bogdan almost lost an edge as he sends it back into the right corner. Hayden Basetic tries to dig it out. Behind the net, 2 Redbirds there. One of them gets to it. It's Basetic. Centers it back behind the net for Barghini. Redbirds look to set it up. Truxaw takes it back behind the net once again. Switek moves in from the point to keep it in. Truxaw behind the net. Tries to get advantage. And it's sent out front Basetic, and it's lifted out by the Panthers and cleared the length of the ice. 6:10 to play here in period 1. 45 seconds remaining in the Redbird power play. Redbirds will start back out with Jackson Schaefer behind the net. Schaefer ahead to Dominic Dager. Cross-ice feed for Luca Weinkauf. He'll stop at the point left side. Weinkauf lost the handle and sent out to center ice. Knocked away by Jamison St. Clair. Redbirds get to it as Cusick. They'll dump it in along the board. Sent behind the net. Played by Kashaslo. 5.5 to play as it's dumped back down in the final 10 of the Redbird power play. Redbirds get to it as Jackson Schaefer has it. And with 1 second left, the penalty is over. Both teams are back at full strength. Sterling Ponish looks to get it in his own end. Puck goes along the side of the net, and it's going to be covered up by Josef Kashaslo. And he'll take a face-off in his own end with 5:05 to play in the first. Face-off sent over into the corner. Buckholz holds it into the line. Here's a shot that goes wide, but comes up behind the net. Tricarico there to play it. Back out to Parker Church at the point left side. Back around it goes to Caden Day. Day looks to play it behind the net. Buckholz couldn't get to it, neither could Tricarico. Now Church holds it in. Day sends it across, and the Panthers get to it. It's taken away by KT Walters. Walters sends it across. Sterling Ponish will set things up for the Drury Panthers. Tricarico on the forecheck. Gives him a little harassment, but the Panthers able to get it out to center. Now it goes up into the netting right along the far boards. And the faceoff will stay in the neutral zone with 4:18 to play here in period number 1. 14-5 the shot advantage so far for Drury here in the first. It'll be a center ice faceoff. And Illinois State gets it as Switek picks it up. Takes it in from center. Switek puts a backhander on the side of the net. Back out to the point and Truxaw. His shot wide of the far post. Held in at the line by Ben Lechner. Now the Panthers get to it. Is Anmol Garcha. Sends it down ice. This will be an icing call, though, against the Drury Panthers. And with 3:54 to play in the period, the Redbirds will have a face-off coming up in the Panther end. And they'll take it in the right face-off circle, so it'll be to the left of Josef Kashaslo. Face-off won by the Redbirds. Quick turnaround shot. That one went off the boards, come out from behind the boards and right off along the side of the net. Kashaslo doesn't take any chances. He covers it up and will take another face-off in his own end. Face-off drawn back behind the Drury net and picked up by Levi Brewer for the Panthers. Brewer sends it forward with Lucas Ravenstein. Sent ahead for Matthew Johnston. Over the line comes Garcha. Garcha moves into the circle. Here's a quick shot. That one taken quickly by Lucas Ravenstein. It went wide of the target. Ravenstein was open for a moment. Now behind the net. Redbirds get to it as Lechner sends it out to Gio Barghini. Barghini 2-on-2. Comes across the line with Dager. Switek trailing the play. As it's cleared to the line by the Panthers, Switek holds it in, fires one right into the catching glove of Josef Kashaslo. And he hangs on and takes a face-off. 3:07 left in the first. Just the 6th Redbird shot on goal against 14 for the Panthers thus far. Face off to the right of the Panther netminder. It's pushed into the corner. Redbirds trying to dig it out. It's sent all the way down the ice. Rolling puck will cross the goal line, and it'll be icing against Drury. So once again, the puck will be returned all the way back down the ice. And once again, we'll have a face-off in the Panther zone. It'll be Tyson Horiachka taking the face-off. It's won by the Panthers as Devin Jamieson comes into the Redbird zone. Jamieson lost the handle. It's picked up by Jackson Schaefer. Sent behind the net. Redbirds send it back around as Ryan Spirine sends it out. A shot by Francis Young-Menard blocked. It goes into the right corner. Along the boards. It's dug out. Davidson tried to get to it. Now the Redbirds finally do control. Luka Weinkoff ahead for Robin Cusick. Cusick will dump it in from just outside the blue line. Kosick. Played along the boards. Davidson now behind his own net will reset. Kosick. Lead pass ahead. Devin Jamieson over the line. Jamieson tipped one in. That one chipped in by Young-Menard. It's sent wide of the target, and the Redbirds able to get control. Pavel Bakhtin. Centering pass blocked. Ryan Callahan gets to it. Callahan behind the net. Drops it off for Aiden Basetic. For Bakhtin, who tried to center it out to the point, and Buchholz couldn't quite catch up to it. Bakhtin got to it. To Basetic. Now Callahan. Basetic moves in, fires. Blocker save made by Kashaslo. Minute and 25 remaining in the period. A fight for the puck along the corner, and now Kashaslo will take the puck in his catching glove and close it up, and he'll take a face-off with 80 seconds remaining in the opening stanza. So face-off will be once again to the right of Kashaslo. Face-off pushed behind the boards. Redbirds get to it. Carson Pitchker held it in for a moment, but Ben Lechner got to it. Sent ahead as Truxaw dumps it in. Back behind the net. 1 minute to play in the period, 1 minute remaining. Redbirds get to it as Truxaw has it at center. Truxaw will move in over the line. From the center circle, he fires one in. Stick save made by Joseph Kashaslo. And the rebound controlled by the Panther goaltender. And with 47.2 remaining in the period, it'll be a face-off in the Panther zone. Redbirds starting to narrow the gap just a bit in the shots on goal. Face-off taken behind the net by the Panthers. 40 seconds remaining in the period. Redbirds trying to get it out front. It's knocked back into the corner and sent back up ice. Here come the Panthers. Daniel Beaupre over the line. Had it knocked away for a moment. They'll track back down and go get it out of the corner. Along the far boards, it's dumped out to center in the final 20 seconds. As Russell Kosick starts it up for the Panthers. Mason Kerr back to get it for Illinois State. 10 remaining in the period. Gets it ahead to Switek along the boards left side. Switek in with 5 seconds. It's dumped back to center, and Schaefer will control, and that will do it for period number 1. Your score at the end of 1 period of play, the Drury Panthers 3, your Illinois State Redbirds 0. Shots on goal in the first period, Illinois State 9, Drury 14. No penalties will carry over into the second period. So 14-9 shot advantage in the opening period for Drury, as they got the better of the play for most of the period, and it showed on the scoreboard as well as the Panthers opened up scoring at the 3:33 mark of the opening period on the third goal of the season by Jackson Truchin. The assist going to Russell Kosek and to KT Walters to give the Panthers a 1-0 lead. At the 8:38 mark of the period, power play goal scored by the Panthers, unassisted by Luke Aston, his 5th of the year, made it 2-0. And then at the 11:17 mark, it was goal number 8 of the season for Daniel Beaupre. That one also unassisted, and that gave the Panthers an 3-0 lead at the end of 20 minutes of hockey. 2 penalties called against Illinois State, 1 against the Panthers thus far in the contest. And again, the shot advantage 14-9 in favor of Drury. 20 minutes of hockey done so far here in downtown Bloomington on this Friday night, and Illinois State trails Drury by the score of 3-0. We're back after the intermission with more hockey, and this is Illinois State Redbird Hockey. And welcome back into the Bloomington Ice Center. LA Decker with you as we are getting set for period number 2 between the Illinois State Redbirds and the Drury Panthers. Drury with a 3-0 lead after 20 minutes of hockey on goals by Truchin, Aston, and by Beaupre. One of those on the power play, that the goal by Luke Aston at the 11:22 mark of period number 1. Don't forget, Illinois State Redbird hockey back on the ice tomorrow night right back here at the Joel Olsen Ice Rink inside the Bloomington Ice Center. 6:10 face-off between the Redbirds and the Drury Panthers. And just like in the 1980s when NBC experimented without having an announcer, we will also be experimenting without having an announcer, as tomorrow I will not be available as my son is getting married. That'll be child number 2 for me out of 4 getting married. A little insight to the mind of LA and why I am the way I am. Teams have switched sides. Redbirds will now be operating from left to right as we see it along with you here in the second stanza. Redbirds have got their work cut out for them with 3 goals given up in period number 1 as the opening face-off for the second period is won by the Panthers as Luke Aston brings it into the Redbird zone. Redbirds steal it away, and Robin Cusick moves through center ice with it. Cusick cuts to the right circle, backhand shot, save made by Kishaslo, and he covers up on the rebound as it's pushed in by the Redbirds, and he'll take a face-off just 18 seconds into the middle stanza. So the face-off will come back out to neutral, will come out to the circle on the right side. So this will be a face-off to the left of Kishaslo. Face-off pushed back behind the net and finally picked up by Grady Sterling-Ponish. Redbirds unable to control it as it slips away from Sam Truxall, and it's dumped back in by Ben Lechner. Lucas Sidonic back to get it for the Panthers. Sends it up ice, where it's picked up by Luke Aston, who comes in over the line. Aston showed some pretty good speed early in the first period when he had that goal where he cut in from the left circle. Bouncing puck at the point, couldn't be picked up by Kosek. Barghini goes back to get it, no icing. Barghini, along with Dominic Dager, try to dig it out of the corner. It's finally picked up by the Panthers. KT Walters dumps it in, centering pass across. Cole Walters got to it. Made a bit of a save on that one and able to keep the Panthers off the board once again. Now a fight for the puck as it's dumped in by Matthew Johnston. Redbirds send it all the way down the ice. Switek again ahead of the play. No icing called. As long as the Redbirds can get a player ahead of everyone before it crosses the goal line, Redbirds will get no icing. Here's a shot by Buchholz. That one tipped, goes off the top of the net and back behind the cage. Redbirds circle back. It eludes Schaefer and Buchholz at the point. Redbirds will circle back around. Kishaslo sends it up behind his own net. Panthers control and sends it up ice. Levi Brewer pushes it into the Redbird zone right corner. Brewer drops it back for a shot. Cole Walter the save. Here comes Callahan with it. 3-on-2 if the Redbirds hurry. Callahan up the right wing side. That's a shot that goes wide of the target. Goes into the corner on the left. Redbirds get to it. Aiden Basetic tries to set it up. It's blocked and sent back into the corner. Now the Panthers get to it as An Malgarcha sends it across. Brewer dumps it in. Schaefer back behind his own net, sets it up for the Illinois State Redbirds. Johnston had it for a moment, then it's taken away by Tricarico, who moves over center ice. Tricarico kicks it in, and it's picked up by Sterling-Ponish. Schaefer has it slide over to his stick, and he sets it up as Mason Kerr dumps it into center ice. Dumped back in by the Panthers. Schaefer gets to it for Illinois State and sends it back down the ice. And this one will be icing against Illinois State with 16:47 to play in the middle period. I've got to say, over the last few games that we've had here in the Bloomington Ice Center, it has been refreshing to not have to get extra hockey pucks into play. Although every once in a while we will have to get one, and we will get a fresh frozen vulcanized rubber disc from our official scorer, Mr. Dan Glad, at some point in the game. Maybe later on. Here's a shot taken, that one wide of the target, taken by Lucas Sadonic. Now traffic in front of Cole Walter as he fires one in. That one stopped. Walters makes the chest-high save. And they'll give him a credit for a save on that one. 2-1 the shot advantage so far in the period for the Panthers. As Cole Walter able to shake that one off, and he awaits the next faceoff to his right. Faceoff won by the Panthers. Sterling Ponish dumps it in, and it's tipped. And that one goes into the area that no one's sitting in, so we do need a fresh, frozen, vulcanized rubber disc to continue playing. It is handed over by Mr. Dan Glad, our official scorer. On the relay system, our linesman able to put it back in play with a faceoff to the right of Cole Walter. Pushed in behind the goal. Jamison St. Clair sends it to the right corner for the Panthers. Now St. Clair got to it, pushes it almost on Cole Walter. It's sent back out to the point. Shot goes wide of the target, gets behind the net. St. Clair tries the wraparound, and it doesn't go in. 4 minutes gone by in the period. Redbirds still trail 3-0. Connor O'Neill overskates the puck for a moment. Now Sam Truxaw dumps it in, right in on Kishaslo, and he makes the chest-high save, and he'll take a face-off in his own end. Sam Truxaw's been sitting on 6 goals, what seems like for about 3 weeks. He got to 6 very early in the campaign and has kind of stalled out at that point. He's been caught by Gio Berghini and Robin Cusick for the team high honors. Over the line comes Luke Aston. Aston cuts in, tried to pull the same move off that he did earlier in the game, and he was not available this time. Here's Berghini, dropping it off for Dager's shot. That one stopped again by Kishaslo, and he gives no rebound. As Dominic Dager was flying in from the boards as Gio Berghini backhanded a pass to him. The Redbirds get a face-off to the right of the Panther netminder. Berghini chases it down, but it's picked up behind the net. Now Dager bounces one in, saved by Kishaslo. Rebound kicked into the right corner. There to play it is KT Walters for the Panthers. Dumps it ahead for Luke Aston. Here's Walters with a shot. That one wide of the target. Held into the line by Young Menard. Walters, centering pass across, flipped up, picked up by Jackson Truchin. He's already got a goal in the contest. Truchin sends it back out to the line. Levi Brewer, his pass blocked by Berghini into the left corner. Sent back behind the net by Aston. Aston got it over to Walters. As KT Walters got it ahead. Now here's Berghini moving in. Berghini with a spin. Now centers it across. Couldn't quite get it to Dager. Now Dager turns and fires. Big save made by Kishaslo. The rebound again picked up by the Panthers. And we play on with 14:30 to play here in period 2. Over the line comes Jackson Truchin. Puck now on the right side. There's a penalty coming up for a check from behind, and the Redbirds are going to go down a player. With 14:15 to play here in period number 2, the Panthers are back on the power play. Illinois State penalty number 16, Mason Kerr, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 5:45, second period. Redbird penalty, Kerr, 2 minutes for slashing at 5:45. So the Panthers back on the power play as they look to reset. Luke Aston getting harassed by the Redbird forecheck, sends it ahead. Finally over the line comes Ravenstein. Ravenstein up the left-hand side. Back to the point. Sononik sends it across Ravenstein, now moves into the slot area, and it's sent back out to the point, but nobody's there, and the Panthers have to go back and get it. Minute 13 remaining in the power play, 13:25 for the second period. Redbirds trying to keep the Panthers from extending their 3-0 lead. Dumped in by Matthew Johnston, back behind the Redbird net. Connor O'Neill will dump it all the way back into the Panther end. Here come the Panthers once again. Sterling Ponich leaves it over for Beaupre. Centering pass out front, knocked away. Picked up by the Redbirds. Lead pass ahead, Weinkauf. Luca Weinkauf moves in. Drops it back. O'Neill couldn't get to it. And counterattack coming from the Panthers. Garcha lost the handle on it. Schaefer couldn't clear it. Picked back up by Beaupre. Beaupre at the circle. Tricarico got to it and clears at the length of the ice. Final 15 seconds of the Panther power play. Sterling Ponich, as the penalty is over, and both teams are back at full strength. The puck sent in from center ice as Jackson Schaefer gets to it for Illinois State. Schaefer sends it back around to the far side. On the right, Pishker trying to get to it. Buchholz is able to control for a moment. Got it ahead to Tricarico, who sends it out to center. 2-on-1 if the Redbirds hurry. Here comes a shot by Spirine. That one stopped by Kashaslo, and it's picked up and coming back is Joe Davidson. Davidson dumps it behind the Redbird net. Sam Truxon looks to take the pressure off as Ben Lechner gets to it. Sent across. Picked up by Newman. Tegan Newman sends it down low. Now in the left corner at the point. Here's a shot taken. That one tipped and right in on Cole Walter, and he makes the stop as the shot was taken by Francis Young-Menard right in on the Redbird netminder, and the tip was stopped by the Redbird goalie Walter, and he'll take a face-off in his own zone. Face-off will be in the Redbird end. Here's a shot. That one just whistled high and wide by Anmol Garcha. Redbirds track it down. Here's Callahan. Backhand shot. Stop made by Kashaslo. Rebound comes all the way out to the left boards, where it's picked up by Beaupre. Daniel Beaupre got it ahead to Matthew Johnston, who dumps it into the Redbird zone. Behind the Redbird net. Parker Turch gets to it, sends it up to neutral ice. Lead pass ahead, Bisetic tries to get to it. Aiden Bisetic does get the icing waved off as the Redbirds try to come in and play it. Bisetic sends it across as Pavel Bakhtin lost the handle along the left boards. It's picked up by Garcha. Quickly ahead to Johnston. It's covered up by Cole Walter. No, it's stopped. No, it's not stopped. It's in. Just that quickly as you look away for just a moment. Just looking away for a second, Daniel Beaupre is able to tally for the second time in the game. Drury goal, his second of the game and 9th of the season, scored by number 8, Daniel Beaupre. Assisted by number 29, Matthew Johnston, and number 88, Anmol Garcha. Time of the goal, 9 minutes 40 seconds, second period. Panthers goal scored by Beaupre, assisted by Johnston and Garcha at 9:40. So now a 4-0 advantage for Drury as they continue to press the issues. We're past the halfway point of period number 2 and also the halfway point of the contest as the shot taken by the Panthers goes into the netting and drops down behind the rink. So another puck is necessary to continue playing. It's a good thing we have a few of them back there. I've been told if I autograph one, the value of the puck would go down by 30%. There's a false drop, an unfair drop, and they'll redrop it. Face off, Tricarico tries to push into the corner. It's picked up by the Redbirds as Switek sends it ahead to Barghini, trying to tap it ahead to himself, but it's stolen back by the Panthers. In over the line is Horyachka. He lost the handle as Switek gets knocked down. Going to be a slashing call against the Panthers. Or it's a hook instead. Okay. So much for me being a hockey referee. Looked like a slash. It's actually a hook. It doesn't matter as we're going to have a Panther in the penalty box for the next 2 minutes. Drury penalty number 81, Devin Jameson, 2 minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty, 10:45, second period. Panthers penalty hook by Jameson at 10:45, a 2-minute penalty. I think even the public address announcer is starting to feel a little bit of the pressure here. The Redbirds need to score and score badly on this power play as they have it in the Panther zone. Here's a shot by Cusick. That one swallowed up by Kushaslo, and he gives no rebound. 8:41 for the second, a minute 27 remaining in the man advantage for the Redbirds. Face-off will be to the left of Kushaslo. Kuchaslo, the spelling on that last name. As Schaefer takes the shot, Kushaslo makes the pad save. Rebound, Tricarico out front. Another rebound shot. This one sent all the way back down. Cole Walter has to hold it up because it came in directly on him. He redirects it for Jackson Schaefer behind the net, and the Redbirds restart the rush. Schaefer moves up through center, drops it off for Cusick, who comes in over the line. Sent across to Schaefer. He'll fire one, blocked out front, goes into the corner left side. Picked back up by Gio Barghini, whose shot goes low. That one skittered wide. Panthers able to clear it the length of the ice. Final 40 seconds of the Redbird power play. 7:55 remaining in the second period. Barghini looks to pick up some speed. Sends it across as Jacob Switek comes over the line. Switek will dump it in back behind the cage. Kushaslo sends it out. Now a 2-on-1 possible for the Panthers. In over the line comes Newman, sends it across. Cole Walter the save. Rebound up for Walter again, covers it up. A 2-on-1 shorthanded break for the Panthers. Cole Walter makes one of the better saves of the night so far for Illinois State. 7:31 remaining in the period. Next faceoff coming up with 17 remaining in the power play will be in the Redbird zone. Faceoff will be to his right. Barghini pushes the faceoff forward, but it's Pinkin for a shot. Stop made by Walter as Lucas Sidonic was able to get a shot. Redbirds push it up through center. Final 5 seconds of the power play. Switek can't quite get the handle on it. It's taken away. Picked up by Tegan Newman. Newman sends it across for Walters' shot. That one goes high and wide. KT Walters now tied for the team lead with Daniel Beaupre. Each have 9 goals on the season for the Panthers. Barghini over the line, trucks off fire. Save made by Kashaslo, and he gives no rebound again. Now some pushing and shoving and some frustration from the Redbirds beginning to show. Eight shots so far in the period for the Panthers. 9 for Illinois State, so the Redbirds are getting the better of the play so far in the period. But they're not seeing the results they'd like on the scoreboard as they trail by 4 tallies. Panthers send it out to center ice. Picked up by Matthew Johnston. Johnston sends it across as Buckholz gets to it for Illinois State. To Parker Turch. Turch, bad pass, center across. Ooh, a shot. That one went wide of the target. As taking a quick shot that time was Lucas Ravenstein. That one might have got blocked in front. Here's Spirene over the line. Drops it off for Caden Day. Shot sticked aside by Kashaslo, and it goes up into the netting. Did it stay in play? Did it stay on the rink? Yes, it's still on the rink. So it did touch the net, so the stoppage will be a face-off in the Drury lane, in the Drury end of the ice. Spirene will take the face-off. Referee lost his whistle for a second. Now he picks it back up. I thought it was the puck. So much for me being an observant hockey player. Here's a shot by Mason Kerr that went wide. To the left boards it goes. Carson Pishker fights for it along the boards. Caden Day joins him as 3 Panthers try to go after it. Redbirds outnumbered and don't get the puck. Devin Jamieson tries to send it ahead for Joe Davidson. Behind the net it goes, loose out front, finally picked up by the Redbirds as Caden Day got to it. Day chips it ahead. Ravenstein shuts him down, doesn't let him get past. Big hit behind the play that time, but the Redbirds do hold it in. Brewer behind his own net. Redbirds get to it as Weinkoff sends it out to the point. Here's a shot by Schaefer, tipped by Weinkoff, stopped by Kashaslo. Truxon picks it up at center for Illinois State with 5 minutes to play in period number 2. Ravenstein gets knocked down behind the play. Redbirds control the puck. Cusick lost the handle for a moment. Panthers try to clear it out and finally do get it to center. Truxon sends it across. It's picked up by Levi Brewer to Ravenstein. Lead pass ahead. Tipped away for a moment. Now Pavel Bakhtin gets to it for Illinois State. Ahead to Truxon as the captain will dump it in around the boards. Held up by Kashaslo and sent back over for a shot. He makes the stop. Rebound pushed out front. Still loose in the slot. Finally picked up by the Panthers as Jamison St. Clair moves out. St. Clair follows the play. It's picked up at center as the puck was knocked away. And Sadonic will send it in. Here's a shot taken. Cole Walter makes the stop as Nolan Bauscher got a rip at one in the slot. 4 minutes left here in the second, pardon me. Truxon slams it off the boards, takes a weird bounce, and the Redbirds do get to it as Aiden Basetic had it tied up in his skates for a moment. Now here's a steal and a pickup. Here's Newman firing in. That one came over the top of the. That is a weird bounce. It came over from the glass, back over the top of the crossbar the other way, and almost looked like a centering pass. And then finally, a whistle stopping play for a net off the moorings. Now they do have
a concern here. They're calling for someone to come on the ice. Faceoff is going to stay in the Redbird zone. That puck took a very weird bounce. Might have hit one of the metal connectors for the glass. And it came back directly in the slot. Here's a centering pass and a chance for Luke Aston, but he couldn't quite get enough on it. Now Aston had it knocked away from him in his skates. Redbirds get to it as Bogdan steals it away and moves through center. With 3:15 to play in the period. Bogdan tried to get it over to Callahan. It's stolen back. Here's Aston over the line. Luke Aston stops at the circle. Now cuts in, fires that one right into the catching glove of Cole Walter, and he hangs on. 3:06 remaining here in period number 2. Face-off will be to his left. KT Walters takes the face-off against Tricarico. It's held in by the Panthers at the line. Circling around is Boucher. To KT Walters. Now Aston. Redbirds get to it. Switek tries to send it ahead to Tricarico. Stolen back. Quickly back over the line, Jackson Truchin. Truchin sends it across. That one sent out front. Hit a body. Looked like Parker Turch in front. So blocked by the defense as the shot didn't get through. Now an off-angle shot goes back behind the net. Comes out toward the corner. Redbirds get to it as Gio Barghini will move forward. Ahead to Switek. Switek cuts to the slot. Now looks, still finding something. Goes for the screen for a shot. That one blocked out front. Schaefer gets it in front. His shot goes wide. Possibly touched by a defender on the way by. Coming up on 2 minutes to play here in the second. Barghini behind the net, Tricarico. Out front for Buckholz. His shot goes wide of the target. Schaefer sends it around the boards. Switek gets bumped off the puck. Schaefer holds it in for a shot. That one stopped by Kishasla. Here comes KT Walters over the line. Drops it off for St. Clair. Knocked away from him, and the Redbirds get to it. Cusick moves in with 93 seconds. Cusick takes it behind the net to the left corner. Back out front for a shot by Schaefer. That one goes wide of the target. Luka Weinkoff couldn't get it. Here's Sadonic over the line. Leaves it back for Beaupre. Now in the corner for Garcha. They look to set it up. Redbirds take it away at the point as Weinkoff sends it in. 1 minute to play in the period, 1 minute remaining. Beaupre sends it over to the left corner. It's taken away by Weinkoff, his counterpart wearing number 8. Sadonic sends it into the Redbird end with 40 seconds remaining in the second. Here's Truxaw. Sends it ahead for Pishker. The pass was too hot to handle, and it will be either offside or icing, one of the two. And it looks like it's going to be an icing call against Illinois State. Probably could have got either call on that one, but they'll go with the icing call. And with 32.9 seconds remaining, the faceoff will come back into the Redbird zone. Faceoff one to the point as Russell Kosick sends it in. That one in on Cole Walter. He was able to make the stop. It's hoisted out to center ice. Final 20 seconds of the period. Here comes KT Walters. He'll fire one in. That one got blocked. He gets the rebound, sends it just over the crossbar. Cusick will pick it up in the final 10 seconds. Cusick 3-on-2 if they hurry. Cusick over the line. Pushes it out front. Got knocked down. And now a whistle stopping play and a penalty with 2.3 seconds remaining in period number 2. The Redbirds are going to get a power play, and it will probably carry over into the third period. It'll be a tripping call. 2.3 seconds remaining in the second period. Face-off will be in the Panther zone. Now Jamison St. Clair is ejected from the face-off. It'll be Tegan Newman sending it into the center ice area, and that will end period number 2. Your score at the end of 2 periods of play, the Drury Panthers 4 and your Illinois State Redbirds 0. Drury penalty number 13, Francis Young-Menard, 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty, 19:57, second period. Panthers penalty, Young-Menard, 2 minutes for tripping at 19:57. Shots on goal in the second period. Drury 12, Illinois State 11, 2-period total. Redbirds 20, Panthers 26. The Redbirds will have 1 minute 57 seconds of power play time going into the third period. So the official time of the penalty, 3 seconds remaining in the period. And that will set us up for a power play, almost just about a full power play for Illinois State going into the final period. Only scoring in the period came at the 9:40 mark of the period. Second goal of the game and 9th of the season for Daniel Beaupre. The assist going to Matthew Johnston and Anmol Garcha. And again, the 9:40 mark of period number 2 to give Drury a 4-0 lead. Penalties reversed in the second period, 2 called against the Panthers and 1 against Illinois State. And again, the shots on goal in favor of Drury in the period by a 12-11 margin. And over 2 periods, 26 for the Panthers and 20 for the Illinois State Redbirds. So 2 in the books and 1 to go here on a Friday night in downtown Bloomington. And after 40 minutes of hockey, it's Illinois State trailing Drury by the score of 4-0. We're back after the second intermission for more Illinois State Redbird hockey.
We're back at the Joel Olson Ice Rink inside the Bloomington Ice Center. L.A. Decker with you as we are getting set for period number 3 between the Illinois State Redbirds and the Drury Panthers. It's 4-0 in favor of Drury. Again, a reminder, these two teams will once again be on the ice here at the Bloomington Ice Center and Joel Olson Ice Rink tomorrow night, beginning at 6:10. I will not be with you for that game. My apologies. But again, family matters are, well, let's put it this way. I don't have a dog house at my house. I don't have a dog. So I would be sleeping in my car if I did not make this family appointment. So I will be attending the family function. However, I will be back with you again next Friday night, the 14th of November, for the Illinois State Redbirds, the opening game of the home and home series against the McKendree Bearcats. This time, Bloomington will be the site for the first home matchup for Illinois State. It'll be a 7 o'clock face-off right here at the Bloomington Ice Center. They'll return the favor and go down to Lebanon and play at the McKendree Recplex on Saturday night for a 6 o'clock face-off on the 15th of November. But still 20 minutes of hockey remaining in this one. Teams have switched sides. Illinois State now operating from right to left as we see it along with you here in period number 3. Illinois State does still have 1 minute and 57 seconds of power play time to operate with, and they will take over and work that power play here to open up period number 3 as Gio Barghini moves in over the line on the fresh sheet of ice. Sends it back behind the net, and it's going to be cleared the length of the ice by Taylor Haggerty. Redbirds pick it up behind their own net. Here's Will Tricarico moving through center ice. Tricarico comes in up the left wing side. Here's a stop made by Josef Koshalso. Pardon me. Had a letter in when there wasn't one there. It still didn't matter. He still made the save. Panthers able to clear it down, then the Redbirds come back on the counter attack as Cusick lost the handle back behind the net, sent back out toward the point. Along the left-hand boards. Puck fought for as they try to dig it out. Gio Barghini will get to it at the point. Barghini sends it across for Tricarico. Here's a shot by O'Neill. That one blocked out front. Barghini will take the shot. That one whistled over the top of the crossbar. Sent out of the zone by Jamison St. Clair. And a penalty coming up against. And now another penalty. You're going to have 2 penalties on the play. Both are going to negate each other. Redbirds were going to get a 5-on-3 for about 35 seconds until a return penalty will negate it, and we'll skate 4-on-3. So if you heard that from one of our referees, Mr. Chris Harjay, we'll get the official word. Drury penalty number 7, Jamison St. Clair, 2 minutes for holding. Illinois State penalty number 27, Robin Cusick, 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalties, 1:25, third period. Panthers penalty, St. Clair, 2 minutes for holding. Redbirds penalty, Cusick, 2 minutes for tripping, both at 1:25. So we will skate 5-on-4. Here's Pavel Bakhtin with it in the final 15 of the Redbird power play. Besetic against the forecheck of Anmol Garcha. Now Luke Aston will move forward to take the forecheck. Lead pass ahead, Switek, as the penalty is over to Young Menard. Both teams back at full strength as Bakhtin sends it behind the Panther net. Loose in front, quick shot, they score! Jacob Switek in front of the net, able to put one home. He got it past
the Panther netminder, and the Redbirds cut into the deficit. It's now 4-1. Illinois State goal, his 6th of the season, scored by number 22, Jacob Switek. Assisted by number 15, Pavel Bakhtin. Time of the goal, 2:10, third period. Redbird goal, scored by Switek, assisted by Bakhtin at 2:10. So again, they skate 5-on-5 here as the coincidental minors for holding and tripping against St. Clair and Cusick will be served as 2 minutes plus a whistle. So they will be released from the box here in about probably about 45 or 50 seconds, depending on how long it gets through a whistle. That's of game time, of course, not real time. Now the Redbirds getting a late change back on the ice as the faceoff is won. Here's a shot taken out front, knocked away, right in front. Defense got to it as Lucas Sadonic was able to get a shot. Here's Barghini sending it ahead to Weinkoff. Weinkoff will track it down and send it back over to the right corner. Lechner lost the handle on it, and it's picked up by Joe Davidson. Now left for Lechner, who fires a shot. That one gloved down by Josef Kishaslo, and the faceoff will stay in the Panther end. .22 saves so far on the night for Kishaslo. The Redbirds need to start putting some more on the Panther net to try to get into this game. Panthers have it. It's knocked away. Now a hooking call coming up. Going to be a holding call against Illinois State, so the Redbirds will be down a man. Illinois State penalty number 20, Gio Barghini, 2 minutes for holding. Time of the penalty, 3:30, third period. Redbird penalty, Barghini, 2 minutes for holding at 3:30. At the line is Sterling Ponish. He sends one in, tipped in, and it's a power play goal for Drury. And they get back to a 4-goal lead at 5-1. So it took all of 20 seconds on the power play for Drury to get back to the 4-goal lead. Drury goal, his 6th of the season, scored on the power play by number 88, Anmol Garcha. Assisted by number 44, Grady Sterling Ponish, and number 29, Matthew Johnston. Time of the goal, 3:50, third period. Panthers goal on the power play, scored by Garcha, assisted by Sterling Ponish and Johnston at 3:50. Face-off pushed back out to the point as Russell Kosick gets to it, sent in on Cole Walter, and that one sent wide of the target. Redbirds send it down the ice. No icing call as we play on. 15:30 to play here in the third. Over the line comes Aston with a shot. That one sent back out around to the point. Tipped in as young Menard took a shot. That one tipped. And it's picked up by the Panthers. Here's KT Walters over the line. Walters will take it into the corner. Now back behind the net. Puck knocked away for a moment. Now picked up in the circle and sent back out toward the line. Here's a steal by Illinois State as Besetic tries to chip it ahead for O'Neill. It's stolen away by Brewer for the Panthers, and now a whistle stops play with 14:49 to play. As the puck got chipped into the Drury bench. So the faceoff will stay in the Panthers zone. Faceoff pushed as Weinkauf tried to take a shot. That one went wide. Weinkauf sends it back out to the point. Buckholz had it knocked away by Davidson. Redbirds get to it. Weinkauf. Cusick. Back to Weinkauf. At the point for Buckholz shot. That one sent in. Blocker to side. Weinkauf sends it in. It goes up into the netting, so it will go out of play technically. And the faceoff will stay in the Panther zone. Faceoff will be to the left of Josef Kashaslo. Faceoff one back to Buckholz. He fires it in, tipped, and Kashaslo has to track it as it got close. Buckholz will chip it back in, delay offside against Illinois State. They clear the zone. Now start the forecheck. Tegan Newman dumps it into the Redbird end of the ice. Newman chases it down. Along the left boards. Back out to the point for his shot. That one sent wide by Ravenstein. Redbird's able to clear it out to center, but the Panthers surround and control. Turch, nice little nifty pass between the legs, but he couldn't quite find Gio Barghini with it. It's dumped into the Redbird end. Now the Redbirds have it as Switek tips it ahead to Barghini. Barghini back to Switek. One look past Tricarico's shot, stopped by Kashaslo. Rebound comes all the way out to the neutral zone, and Truxall will dump it in. Redbirds will get out of the zone. Grady Sterling Ponish harassed on the forecheck by Illinois State. They need to turn up the intensity on that forecheck to try to cut into the 4-goal deficit. Lucas Sedonic sends it up ice. Oh, almost had an opportunity for Nolan Bauscher to get in, but he just couldn't quite catch up to it, and Bauscher a little upset with himself on that one. Here's Garcha. Garcha comes in over the line, had it knocked away. Gio Barghini couldn't quite get to it. It's stolen back. Here comes Daniel Beaupre. Beaupre tried to dump it in for Garcha, couldn't quite make a connection. Johnston sends it out front, now back behind the net. It's held in for a moment by Kosick. Kosick sends it back behind the Redbird cage. 12 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the third. Here's a windup at a shot. That one looked like it got blockered down by Cole Walter off the stick of Daniel Beaupre. He was looking for the hat trick. Beaupre comes in, looks at the circle, cuts in, sets up, fires. That one wide of the target. Centering pass out front, tipped in front. That one just went wide of Cole Walter as Anmo Bargarcha was sitting right on the doorstep. Held in at the line. Nice play by Kosick. He'll take it to the circle on the near side. He'll spin back to the corner. Works from the circle. Sent back out by Illinois State. This one is going to be icing against the Redbirds. 11:47 to play in period number 3. Faceoff comes all the way back into the Redbird end, and it'll be to the right of Cole Walter. As Carson Pishker couldn't win the faceoff. It's held in at the line by Ravenstein. Here's a shot that goes wide of the target. Centered out front, stolen away by Truxaw. Sam Truxaw, the captain, moves forward. Got it ahead to Switek, cuts in from the circle. It rolls in, swiped away. Penalty coming up is Josef Kuchelszlo. Goes down in the crease, and the Drury players, they want to go after Switek. Switek's going to the penalty box, and a little talking between the two teams, and I don't believe the Drury players are getting any recommendations for after the game dinner. So now the officials in a discussion as somebody may have taken a stick from one of the Illinois State players. So the face-off's going to come all the way back into the Redbird end once we get everything sorted out here. Now they are checking all the equipment, it looks like. They're checking also on the Drury netminder. The Redbird players are claiming that a stick was taken and broken. So the Redbirds will be down a player as they got him a new stick, but apparently the stick situation is not solved yet. So we will have a face-off. And the Redbirds will be down a player. Here's a shot taken. That one stopped by Cole Walter. Loose puck out front. Sent over into the corner. Illinois State penalty number 22, Jacob Switek. 2 minutes for charging. Time of the penalty, 8:31, third period. Redbird penalty, Switek, 2 minutes for charging at 8:31. As Cole Walter makes a nice save there and able to keep the Panthers from extending their lead. At the point, as the faceoff's won by the Panthers, Sterling Ponish sends it out front, swept away at the last moment on a centering attempt. They did have a player out in front. Down in the corner, Garcha sends it back out to the point for Sterling Ponish, and it's sent right in on Cole Walter, and he gobbles it up and keeps it in the catching glove. 10:44 for the third, 1:15 for the power play. 5-1 Redbirds trail it. They need to kill this penalty and then start some serious offensive hockey, or this one might be the 13th consecutive win for the Drury Panthers. Sadonic dumps it down low in the corner, centering pass across, nobody home. Sadonic comes across to save it on the near side. Dumped in. Tyson Hodiacha sends it back into the corner. Centering pass back to Sadonic. Sadonic looks, dumps it down low. Back out to the point, Sadonic. Sent across for Luke Aston. Sadonic back to Aston. Centering pass knocked away, stolen. Here comes Basetic. Basetic's got a breakaway. Basetic moving in, takes it in. Backhand save by Kushelslow. And the Panthers come away with it, 20 in the power play. Over the line comes Devin Jamieson. Jamieson sent across. Quick shot. Cole Walter with a diving save. Final 7 of the power play. Gio Barghini has it in the zone. Barghini takes it to the backhand. Switches around as the penalty's over. Both teams at full strength as the puck is dumped all the way down ice. No icing is called. 9:20 to play in period number 3 as the goaltenders have come up big here in the last couple of minutes for both teams. Here's a steal and a pass across. The shot saved by Walter, and he hangs on. Joe Davidson had an open rip from just the left of the slot, and Cole Walter equal to the task. Face-off will be to the right of Cole Walter. 9:08 to play in the period. 11-7 shot advantage for Drury in the period thus far. Kosick dumps it into the corner. Sends it back out top. Day knocks it through center ice where it's picked up by Francis Young-Menard. He'll dump it back into the Redbird end. Redbird's able to get to it and move forward with it as Caden Day. Day had his pocket picked as he came over the line. Redbirds can't touch it. As Davidson has it knocked away by Parker Church, but it does go in the Redbird zone. Tegan Newman pays the price of the corner as he's roughed up a little bit, but it's sent over to the far side for his shot taken and blocked as Russell Kosick has it go into the corner. Picking it up is Nolan Bauscher. Bauscher had it taken away. Redbirds have it as Pishker lost the handle at center, and it gets knocked all the way back into the Redbird end. This will be icing against Drury, and now some pushing and shoving, and now they're going to go at it. We're playing the feud on a Friday night in downtown Bloomington. Caden Day now starting to get involved with Joe Davidson a little bit, some pushing and shoving, and now they're going at it a little bit. And now Parker Church trying to step in and be the peacemaker. That's not going to work out very well. And the officials are going to have a laundry list of infractions coming up. Now the officials in a discussion. So far we know about a couple of the penalties. We're going to see who else may be given some time here in the sin bin. Ryan Spirine was involved with it. Looked like it might have been Nolan Bauscher, but I'm not sure who exactly the Panther player was. Did not get a clear look at the number. Could have been also Matthew Johnson. But the two referees are getting the information as well from the linesmen who are here in front of the scorer's bench, and we will find out in just a few moments who else might get penalties here. So now a couple of the captains are now over to listen in on the conversation. Sam Truxoff for Illinois State. And KT Walters for Drury. Walters came into the contest with 9 assists on the season to go with his 9 goals. Very even distribution of points. He picked up his 10th assist on the opening goal of the contest tonight. So now both Illinois State captains, Sam Truxaw and Connor O'Neill, are listening on the conversation going on with referee Chris Harjay. Well, we have a moment. We'll remind you that these two teams are going to play tomorrow night right here at the Bloomington Ice Center. 6:10 face-off. If you want to come on out to the Bloomington Ice Center, feel free. Come on out. Redbird Hockey is always available for you on a Friday and Saturday night when the Redbirds play at home. Looks like a couple of more penalties coming up. All right, so we have the penalties figured out. All right, so the penalties are not going on the board. So we will skate 5-on-5, and our public address announcer is going to get some mic time tonight. Drury penalty number 27. Tegan Newman, 2 minutes for roughing. And number 39, Joe Davidson, a 10-minute misconduct. Illinois State penalties, number 18, Ryan Spirine, 2 minutes for roughing. And number 81, Caden Day, a 10-minute misconduct. All penalties at 11:49, third period. Panther penalties. Newman, 2 minutes for roughing. John and Davidson, a 10-minute misconduct. Redbird penalties. Spirine, a 2-minute roughing, and Day, a 10-minute misconduct, all at 11:49. I think the public address announcer is going to use that for his demo reel later. As it's sent back behind the net as we play on. 7:40 to play here in period number 3. As the icing call against Illinois State is made, and the face-off will come all the way back into the zone. So I was able to locate some stuff. My wife has been doing some cleaning, and I'm going to give her a major shout out here. She cleaned out some of the garage. Matter of fact, the entire garage is cleaned out. And they were able to find some old audio of mine, and perhaps at some point, there's a weird bounce that took as a puck was dumped in by Mason Kerr. It took a very weird hop, but Josef Kishalso made a nice play to track the puck and get it in his catching glove before Illinois State could come in and try to swipe at it. Face-off will go into Drury end. So we found some old audio of mine from when I first started in radio back in 1996. It is amazing how much I still sound like I did almost 30 years ago. Perhaps I will share that with you at some point. But maybe another time, as we have the Redbirds with the puck in center ice. Knocked away and stolen as Garcha takes it away for the Panthers. Redbirds trail 5-1 as we approach 7 minutes to play. Garcha comes in over the line. Lost it at the slot, and it's picked up by Switek for Illinois State. Switek left it behind, and Garcha stole it. Tipped ahead by Beaupre. He left it along the boards, and Switek steals it back. Lucas Wavenstein lost it at center. Switek has it as he moves into the zone. Switek works through the slot, now cuts back to the near boards. Goes into the left corner with its centering pass. Paddled aside by Kishaslo. Back out to the point. Jamison St. Clair moves forward with it. Nice poke check as Brewer had it knocked away by Switek. Buckholz sends it across. Now dumped in back behind the net by Ravenstein. Barghini sends it along the boards, and now a whistle stops play. 6:07 remaining in the period. Spirene will be released from the penalty box along with Newman, but Jacob Switek's coming in for a roughing call, so the Redbirds will just trade out a player there. Illinois State penalty number 22, Jacob Switek, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of the penalty, 13:53, third period. Redbird penalty, Switek, 2 minutes for roughing at 13:53. Moving forward with it is Sterling Pratt. Now the Panthers have it out of the corner. Here's a shot on Cole Walter. That one stopped out front. Rebound goes behind the net. Wraparound chance. Knocked away. Nice defense by the Redbirds that time. Sterling Ponish sets it up. Knocked away at the last minute as Beaupre tried to come in. It's cleared out to center by Illinois State. Dumped in by KT Walters. Coming up on 60 seconds remaining in the power play for the Panthers. Here's a shot on Cole Walter. That one stopped as Garcha took a shot from the right circle. Walters had the near post covered well and made the stop. 35 saves so far tonight for Cole Walter. Face-off pushed all the way to the left corner. Redbirds get to it. Mason Kerr couldn't clear it out. Into the corner it goes as Devin Jamison gets to it. Comes around to the point. Sadonic is at the point, middle of the ice. Works to the right side. Dumps over into the corner. Back to Sadonic. Swings it over to Walter. Walters puts the shot in. That one steered aside. Picked back up and sent back out. Jamison to Sadonic. Now a pass out front, tip, but Sadonic gets to it. Turning with it is Luke Aston. At the point, Sadonic sends one right into the catching glove of Cole Walter with 4:09 to play in the third. 3 seconds remaining in the Redbird penalty. As Jacob Switek will be the one coming out of the box. Face-off will be to the left of Cole Walter as we approach the final 4 minutes to play here in this one. Now the penalty to Switek is over. Both teams back at full strength. Pushed into the corner. Back to get it. is Nolan Bauscher. Sent out to the point where Kosick sends it back in. It's tipped and goes in on Cole Walter. He'll pick it up and take a face-off in his own zone. $16 shots in the period so far for Drury, just 8 for Illinois State. Redbirds get the face-off as Barghini sends it across for Parker Turch. Turch moves into the Panther zone. Dumped down low. Sent across into the corner on the right side. Here's a shot taken. That one stopped by Koshoslow. Rebound goes into the right corner. Jamison St. Clair sends it around the boards. And it's sent back up. And the Panthers will move out of their own end. Tegan Newman dumps into the corner. And it's played off by St. Clair. He gets pushed off into the corner. Now it's played ahead by Buckholtz, and a whistle stops play as the puck goes into the netting with 3:01 to play in the third. It'll be a neutral zone face-off. And it's won by the Panthers as Lucas Ravenstein sends it in. Here's a shot that flutters out front and goes wide of the target. Luka Weinkoff couldn't get to it. Aston sends it out front. Now a penalty coming up as behind the play, Cole Walter got his headgear knocked off. And it does look like someone's coming to the penalty box for Drury. So 2:45 remaining, and the Redbirds will get a power play opportunity. The faceoff will come all the way back into the Panther end. Drury penalty number 71, Jackson Truchin. 2 minutes for charging. Time of the penalty, 17:15, third period. Panther penalty, Truchin, 2 minutes for charging at 17:15. As the Panthers get to it, Illinois State loses possession. It comes in over the line with Luke Aston. He had it knocked away, and Will Tricarico gets to it. Final 90 of the power play, 2:13 remaining in regulation. Tricarico sends it over to Connor O'Neill. It's hoisted out to center and will be cleared the length of the ice. 2 minutes remaining in period number 3. As Nolan Boucher came flying across the ice and got air that time, and he hit the boards. Redbirds have it. Here's Truxaw sending it across for Switek. Switek will take a shot through traffic. That one went high. 53 seconds remaining in the Redbird power play. 95 for the game. Here's Switek sending it across, and now a stoppage as the puck gets played out. Now a slashing call coming up against Drury. Drury penalty number 44, Grady Sterling Ponish, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 18:31, third period. Panthers penalty, Sterling Ponish, 2 minutes for slashing at 18:31. And a new puck is necessary to continue play As we have 1:21 to play, they do have the puck back, so it looks like we're going to keep going. There's the face-off is won as Ravenstein gets to it, and he hammers it down the ice. Final 70 seconds to play in this one. 20 seconds remaining in the two-man advantage for Illinois State as Ravenstein just clears at the length of the ice from center. 1 minute to play in regulation, 1 minute remaining. Here's Schaefer. Moving across the line, dumps it back in behind the net. It's knocked away and picked up by the Panthers and sent the length of the ice. Walter quickly back up the ice, couldn't quite get it to Pavel Bakhtin, and icing is called against the goaltender. 40.8 remaining in this one. A plethora of penalties have been called here in this third period, and that's saying a lot. Face-off won by the Panthers. They'll send it back out to the point, and they'll run some more time off the clock. Final 30 seconds of this one. Hayden Basetic has it for Illinois State. Sent ahead to Bakhtin. He got played off the puck. Good legal play that time as Bakhtin now goes down. That looked like a UFC takedown with a head scissor. Schaefer on the right corner. 10 seconds remaining. It's going to be picked up by Francis Young-Menard. He'll clear at the length of the ice, and that'll do it for this contest. Your final score in tonight's ACHA Division I matchup. The Drury Panthers 5, your Illinois State Redbirds 1. Shots on goal in the third period, Drury 16, Illinois State 11. 3-period total, Redbirds 31, Panthers 42. Tonight's DP player of the game for Illinois State Redbirds is number 12, the assistant captain, Will Tricarico. A reminder, fans, a zone for everyone, and everyone has a zone at DP on Buford Street, Uptown Normal. Reminder, fans, that we'll have more Illinois State Redbird hockey for you tomorrow night here at the Bloomington Ice Center. A 6:10 face-off as the Redbirds take on the Drury Panthers. We thank you once again for your support of Illinois State Redbird hockey and invite you back to the Bloomington Ice Center and Joe Olson Ice Rink for our next contest. So 2 goals in the period to summarize this one. For the first for Illinois State, the only goal of the contest for the Redbirds at the 2:10 mark, as Jacob Switek got his 6th goal of the season. Pavel Bakhtin gets the helper, and it made it a 4-1 game at that point. Redbirds, though, give up a power play goal just 1 minute and 40 seconds later, as it's the 6th of the year for Anmol Garcha on the power play. The assist going to Grady Sterling Ponish and to Matthew Johnston at the 3:50 mark, and that closed out scoring in the contest. There were 11 penalties called in the third period, 5 against the Panthers and 6 against the Redbirds. And that'll do it for this one. Again, total shots in the game, 42 for Drury and 31 for Illinois State. Again, your DP player of the game for the Illinois State Redbirds is Will Tricarico. So that's going to do it for us here from the Joe Olson Ice Rink inside the Bloomington Ice Center on a Friday night. Big thanks to everyone here at the Bloomington Ice Center for the hospitality and, of course, the best seats, which are the worst seats sometimes in the house. So again, Drury Panther fans, hey, glad you can come along. We enjoyed you having you. Hope you enjoyed the contest, and we know you enjoyed the results. Illinois State Redbird fans, we still hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We got another one for you tomorrow night. Your final score tonight from downtown Bloomington inside the Bloomington Ice Center at the Joe Wilson Ice Rink, it was the Drury Panthers 5 and your Illinois State Redbirds 1. For everyone here at the Bloomington Ice Center, I'm Ellie Decker, thanking you for joining us tonight, and we wish you a good night, everybody.